How's everyone doing today? Today what we're going to talk about is impact. And what should your body look like at impact? What should your wrists look like? And what should be the relationship between your hands and the iron when you're hitting an iron shot? So when we get into a good impact position, we want the hands slightly ahead of the club head. Our body, our chest, and our hips are going to be open to the target. We're going to look like this. Okay, so what we don't want to do is look like this, look like that. Okay, so this is our impact position. And a good way to get the feeling of it is to open your hips and chest and try to bend the shaft, trying to stick that club head in the ground. That'll give you a good feel of what impact should feel like. Okay, so this video is going to be on impact and kind of what the club head is doing going through the ball, and what's the relationship of the shaft and the club head going into the ball. And first we're going to do from down the line, and these here we're taking with some really high speed cameras, especially the one on the left I think's at 30,000 frames a second, and that was a dead straight shot. And this other one on the right is of Rory McIlroy, as you can tell from the swooshes. Those are Nike equipment, and this was a straight shot on the golf course. And just wanted to look at where the club is approaching as it's going into the ball. What's the relationship of the club face, and then how much rolling is there through the ball of the club face, and where is the club head traveling as it goes through. So those are things that we can watch from this angle. And the couple things that I notice here is the club is not approaching the ball way from the inside, like in here, and then going out this way at all. Okay, if anything, it's approaching, the iron is approaching down the line as much as possible, and the club head is staying square for a long time after the ball is gone, and the club head's actually traveling to the left. So if you look at the data on TrackMan and the launch monitors of the tour players, they all hit down on their irons, varying degrees from 2 degrees to 6 or 7 degrees of an angle of attack, meaning hitting down or up on the ball, and their swing path of the club head goes left. They're not swinging that club out to the right, and then flip rolling the club face closed. And there's Rory's shot approaching on pretty steep angle of attack there. And that club face is not swinging out to the right. And after that ball is gone, it's trying to stay stable or square through the ball. It isn't rolling shut. Okay, just 2 more little views of impact. And this one's kind of different because we can see the scoring lines coming, and we can notice that this club head is pretty square now before the ball is struck. Downward angle, ball first, and then the turf comes well after the ball's gone, as the club head is still moving downward. And again, not much rolling going on, if any. Okay, and this is one of my favorite videos. I know I've shown a lot of you this one when we're talking about hitting iron shots. Jordan Spieth, one of the great young players, and look at the stable hands he has through impact. And that ball is long gone, and the divot is still on the club head, because that divot starts after striking the ball. Okay, and I thought for fun it would be good for everyone to see this. This is the famous Tiger Woods stinger that he would hit with this 3-wood, or this is his 2-iron. So you can tell that that club is approaching not on a hugely steep angle, but it is working down. He makes contact with the ball first, and then the club head is still going down into the ground. And look how low and square that club head stays going through the ball. Okay, our first drill is called the pelvic punch drill. And this is a way for us to feel our body rotating through the ball and not just being very hands and armsy going through. So we're going to take a normal setup. I got the ball on a slight tee here, just so we know we have a good lie. Take a normal setup. We're going to take the club back where the club is parallel to the ground and our hands are at our right leg. And from there, we're going to rotate into a full finish. So we're going to go from there to there. Our next drill is called the divot control drill. And we have a line here drawn on the ground, or we could do this another way too. We can take tees and mark off an area between 2 tees. Okay, and we're going to do this without a golf ball. We're going to set up to the line as it's the golf ball, take a swing, and we want to try to make the divot after the line. And the same thing if we're between these 2 tees and our balls there, we want our divot to start after the line of the tees. So we want it to be in front of that. Okay, because remember, when we strike a golf ball, okay, if that ball's on that line, our divot wants to come right after we hit the ball like we saw in those videos. Okay, so this is a great drill. You can do this just practicing and hitting and just taking the white line out or right in front of it and just go all the way up the line like that. Okay, so our next drill is sort of what we showed you at the beginning, what we call impact fix, where you take your normal setup and you're bending the shaft into the ground, rotating, opening your hips, opening your chest, and feeling like your hands are ahead. And then from there, we're going to go through and get through a little bit through the ball, pushing the ball forward and not using our wrist to scoop it. So I'm going to demonstrate that one more time. We get in, impact fix, and then go through. Okay, so now I want to just start with a great wrist and forearm exercise to develop wrist and forearm strength, because when we do hold lag, it does, and have our wrists or head, it does take a little bit of strength in our hands and our forearms. So this is a great one, and when we do this, the more you're in the middle of the club, the lighter the club head is, and the further you're away from the club head, the heavier it is. You're going to start out here. We want the elbow to remain in place, and really when we cock this up to 90 degrees, we're using the wrist only. We're going to go up, rotate to the right, come up, go down, come up, rotate to the left, and then come up. Once we do that, that's 1. And this will be 2. And we want to do that on both arms. And you want to start with 5 reps, and if that's easy, then work your way up to 10 to 15. And again, you can make it harder by moving your hand down. I've done this for a long time, so I could do it at the end, but if you start here, then once you get to 10 reps and it's easy, you can move your hand down. Okay, our next one, I got 5-pound weights that have the little circles in the middle, a little space out there. And you can start with 2.5 pounds. We're just going to put our arms where our wrist can, our forearm's going to rest on our legs, and our wrists have a lot of motion out in front, and we're just going to go up and down. We want to do 15 to 20 of these, and then we're going to turn this way, do 15 or 20 of these, and then go this way, and we want to do 15 to 20 of these. This way right here is the hardest ones, and I usually drop down to 2.5 when I do that. So you might have to go lighter when you do this motion. So you want a full range of motion, and just go light enough so you can get the full range. Okay, so this exercise, if you don't have the plates like this, you can use dumbbells to substitute.